Spyderco Delica in super gold steel. This is my second knife. The first one I got was rubbing the scale. This one, when I got it, which was the replacement, also was rubbing, but I've been able to adjust it just enough that it's no longer touching the side. Doing so though, I've had to make the knife pretty damn stiff. I loosened all the screws, tried adjusting it, loosened the pivot, held pressure on it, did all that stuff that you can do. I even tried bending the entire frame. If I do that, it centers up just fine, but as soon as I open and close it, it goes back to where it was. So it is what it is. I plan to use this knife, but right now I want to sharpen it. I've never sharpened Super Gold 2, I think it is, SG2. So I want to see how it behaves. Took my Shapton system and brought the edge all the way to the back, so I don't have that ugly little hiccup going on in there. I kind of went too far on one side, so I may have to fix it on this stone, but that's nothing new. So I'm going to start with my 320 grit stone. I'm going to use all Shapton Pro. I am most familiar with these stones, so to give me an idea of how this steel behaves. Looks like all I gotta do is get that back portion blended in with the rest of the knife, and I should be done on this one. It's already taken out the factory scratches, so all I gotta do is get those diamond scratches out. And it looks like I've got it pretty much removed, except for right in the very, very base. I'm gonna call that good enough though. I've got a burr, a really healthy burr. This stone does like to shed grit, so it produces a lot of mud. This steel seems to be grinding very, very easily. I've already got a burr built up. This is the 1000 grit Shapton Pro. I may end up just putting a sharpening notch in this. Looking at how this base is behaving, even after I've got the edge all the way to the back, it's still not wanting to grind in that area. So I may end up just putting a sharpening notch in this next time I sharpen it. Right now it'll be fine. It just won't get sharp back there. It'll look a little ugly, but it looked ugly before, so. From what I'm seeing, this still grinds very, very well. It's in terms of speed of cut, it's almost like VG10. Very quick. I'm practically done. I heard some of the burr break. I can actually see some of it. So I'm gonna skip my 2K stone entirely and just go straight to my 5K. I've got a little bit of a slurry built up. I think Massdrop still has some of these in stock, if any of you guys were wanting to get a hold of one. I would suggest hurrying because it's going to be limited quantity, of course. What I'm doing is I'm cocking the knife up like this to get down into that choil, and then I'm following that curve. That way I can get as close to that back edge as I possibly can. Same thing on this side, I'm cocking it up. So the first knife I had, not only was it rubbing really badly, the lamination line on this side came all the way up past the tip. So they took a buttload of material off on that side. It was nice though. Massdrop sent me the replacement before I even had to send in the old knife, so I have both knives here at the same time to compare them against each other. That way I could decide which one looked the best, which of course the replacement looked the best, though it didn't look great. It was still better than the other one. Speaking to other guys on Instagram, they've all said that Delicas are kind of notorious for bad centering issues and the knives moving around when closed. It's just something to be expected, but you know, when you pay over $100 for a knife, you kind of want that stuff sorted out before you get it. Not to mention, Massdrop sent these knives straight to Spyderco for 5 weeks to be QC'd, and they still let that out the door. That doesn't say much for Spyderco. I guess they consider their budget brand budget, and they don't really give a shit, but it is what it is. I'm just going to strop on white compound tonight. Definitely took a nice edge. Alright, we're going to test 2 spots here. 65. 54. 59. 91. 97. I'm not sure if the string is in there correctly. 116, that's close enough. Doing the average, the base area came out to 59, the tip area came out to 101. That's really sharp in the base here. I'm not sure if the tip was just my lack of precision or it's thicker there. I'm not sure what's going on. Doesn't really matter. 100, 101. That's plenty sharp for anything I'll ever need it to do. And I'll bring you guys down here and let you get a peek at what this bevel looks like. So you can see that base area where the plunge line meets. Can't quite get all the way in that back area. This stuff sharpened up really well, really easily. Reminds me very much of VG10 in that respect. Super easy to sharpen. I'll leave some links in the description for Massdrop, as well as links to this knife. I'll also leave a link to my Instagram picture showing the comparison of this knife versus the original one I had. Show you how bad the centering was. Took a super polish for such a quick job. Very nice. It's very thin behind the edge too. Just feeling it, it feels very thin. So they did a decent job on the grind for this knife. You can see that lamination line. not super tall. My other one, this line, shot up. Came up about right here, about to this point right here. So all that was exposed to core steel. They did much better on this one. It's fairly consistent. If you guys have any questions or comments, as always, leave them below. Yes, I have some scratches on it. No, I don't care. This is going to be a user for me. Y'all have a good one.